Your wife was my emergency contact before she was yours, the doctor said. They dated for 3 months. 7 years ago, she never changed it. I was sitting in a hospital waiting room after my wife Serena collapsed at a restaurant during our anniversary dinner. One minute she was laughing at my terrible joke about the breadsticks. The next, she was on the floor, unconscious. The ambulance came. They took her away. I followed in my car, hands shaking so badly I could barely grip the steering wheel. When I got to the ER, they wouldn't let me see her. I sat in that waiting room for 3 hours watching other families get called back while I slowly lost my mind. Finally, a doctor came out. He looked at me, looked at his clipboard, then looked at me again with this strange expression. "You're the husband?" I nodded. "I need to speak with the emergency contact first. Hospital policy for this type of situation." I blinked. "I am the emergency contact." The doctor checked his clipboard again. "According to our records, her emergency contact is listed as Dr. Jonah Kessler." The name hit me like a punch to the stomach. Jonah Kessler was Serena's ex-boyfriend from before we met. I knew about him. She'd mentioned him once or twice in that casual way people mention ancient history. They dated briefly in medical school. 3 months. Nothing serious. That's what she told me. "There must be a mistake," I said. "We've been married for 5 years. She would have updated that." The doctor shrugged. "The form was signed and dated 7 years ago. It's never been changed. I already called the number on file." My vision went blurry. "You called her ex-boyfriend to tell him my wife is in the hospital? He's on his way." I sat back down because my legs stopped working. 20 minutes later, Jonah Kessler walked through those sliding doors like he owned the place. Tall, confident, wearing scrubs, because of course he was also a doctor. He walked right past me to the nurse's station, and they let him through immediately. They let him see my wife while I sat in the waiting room like a stranger. I waited another hour before anyone told me anything. When Serena was finally stable enough for visitors, the nurse came to get me. She looked uncomfortable, like she knew something I didn't. Serena was awake when I walked in. She looked pale and exhausted, but she smiled when she saw me. Then her face changed. "Did they call Jonah?" My throat tightened. "Yeah, they did. I completely forgot to change that form. I'm so sorry. It was from when we first started residency together. We were each other's emergency contacts because we didn't have anyone else. 7 years ago. I know, I should have updated it. I just never thought about it, but something wasn't sitting right." I pulled out my phone and scrolled through our shared calendar. Every year on our anniversary, I blocked off the whole day. Dinner reservations, flowers, the whole thing. Every year, Serena mysteriously got sick or had an emergency or something came up at work. Last year, she had food poisoning. The year before, a migraine. The year before that, her car broke down and she had to wait for a tow truck. I'd never connected the pattern until that moment. I looked at her lying in that hospital bed. What actually happened tonight? I fainted. Low blood sugar probably. Why does Jonah still have your number memorized? Her face flickered just for a second, but I saw it. I walked out of her room without another word and went straight to the nurse's station. I asked if Dr. Kessler had signed in when he arrived. The nurse checked the visitor log and nodded. I asked if he'd signed in before. She scrolled back through the records. Her eyebrows rose. "He's visited this patient several times over the past few years. Different departments though. Outpatient mostly." I felt like the floor was tilting. I drove home that night while Serena stayed for observation. I went through her laptop, her phone records, the credit card statements. The texts were deleted, but the phone bill showed the calls. Hundreds of calls to the same number over the past 5 years. Our entire marriage, some lasting hours. The credit card showed hotel charges on dates that matched my work trips. She wasn't fainting from low blood sugar. She was having a panic attack because she thought I'd figure it out. She was right. I packed a bag that night. When she called from the hospital the next morning asking where I was, I told her I knew about Jonah. She cried and tried to explain that it wasn't what I thought, that they were just friends, that she loved me. I asked her one question. "If you loved me, why was he still your emergency contact?" She couldn't answer. The divorce was
Click the link
finalized
on the
3 months
homepage
later.
to
Jonah
watch
was
the
her
full
witness at the
follow-up for
courthouse
free.
signing.